Face of Image's housemate. What an excitement.
With over 50 ethnic groups, 180 million people, and according to the last census, Nigeria has over 180 million people with 36 states. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, the world at large. My name is Oreti Yomola Yadewumi, and if I'm given the opportunity to become the next president of this great country, I'll be coming up with a 3 point agenda. Firstly, quality education for all Nigerian children. I want to start by saying quality education is a right and not a privilege to the kids. All Nigerian children should have access to quality education. The statistics are say that Nigeria has the highest number of kids without access to quality education. These are meant to be the leaders of tomorrow. Statistically, 6 out of every 10 Nigerian kids does not have access to quality education, having the highest from the northern part of the country. Why? These are the people that were meant to hand over the future of this country to. When there's a popular saying by Nelson Mandela that says, when you educate a child, you build the nation. Remember that education is the greatest weapon and resources you can give to the growing generation. That's the first point. Then the second thing I'll be working on is going to be discouragement of importation and encouragement of exportation. Why? We all know that Nigeria is a consuming nation. Yes, Nigeria consumes more than we produce. If you look at our economy or what we use in this country, we depend solely on foreign made goods, which has led to unfavorable balance of trade. What do I mean by unfavorable balance of trade? Is a situation whereby a country imports more than it exports. This will lead to unfavorable balance of payments. We always pay more, whereby we encourage and build other nations.
Because they say the youth are leaders of tomorrow, and we being the leaders of tomorrow, we have to empower the youth. In every country where the youth have been empowered very well, if you check that country out very well, you know that the country, they are mine. The country is will boom very well. The country like Nigeria, where we have a lot of people out there that needs to be empowered. If they are given this opportunity and they are being empowered and they rise up, because it is the people in the country that determine whether the country is rich or it's not rich. Once the people in the country are rich, the country is rich. That's the side. That's one of what I will do. The two, social amenities. Nigeria lack that so much, and we know that very well. We see it, we know what's happening, we see what's happening. We lack those stuffs. I will need them. When we have them, Nigeria will be bigger and better. Okay? Let's talk about agriculture. The only thing we focus in Nigeria is just oil and oil and oil and oil. We have agriculture. A lot of if we should invest in agriculture, we're gonna have a very big and wonderful country. Just trust me, because there's big money in agriculture. Just look at fishing places like, okay, because you're below 40 and they just want you to go under Godfatherism. Godfatherism has to leave Nigeria. We need the youth to be empowered, and those places. Since we are the leaders of tomorrow,
Can't
let
stop.
us be given opportunities.
Take a deep breath. Take it easy.
And decentralize power to other states to handle the affairs of each of the states. And also, the Nigerian seaports, which only Lagos is the only place every other geopolitical zone run down to for their imports and exports and clearing of all their goods and properties imported. States like Port Harcourt, River State, we have Onne Seaport, and we also have NPA. Calabar also have, Delta State have also a seaport. All these regions should be active in order to decongest Lagos and create more employment and avenues where other environments like River State, Delta, people will not start flowing in all these areas. All those areas will also boom with businesses too, and get more things out of for their own life and also for their family. Leaving Lagos alone for seaport activities is really Nigeria any good at all. So as the president, I will look into these two issues of restructuring Nigeria and also allowing all other seaports to operate to full capacity just like Lagos State. Thank you very much.
If I'm elected to be the first female president of Nigeria, first of all, I will immediately change our currency, that it can be more variable, and also to equivalent that, sorry, what's one, sorry, I'm sorry. Hello Africa, hello Nigeria, I'm C Diamond. If I'm elected to be the first female president of Nigeria, I'm going to make our currency to be more valuable, that it can be equivalent to dollar. That is to say, $1 to 100 naira. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sisi Diamond.
Nigeria is one of the countries that has the most highest natural resources, but we are not making use of them. So first of all, I will emphasize on our natural resources like our oil. I will make sure we get to improve more in oil production, like set up more refineries, and make sure our refineries are very effective, they are functioning. And I also emphasize on the human resources like talents. In our football, in our sport aspects, Nigeria is one of the most talented country in sports, but we don't make huge impact in sport because the governments today don't emphasize on our sports. They don't invest on our sports. So it renders the youth useless. Most talented youths end up being hoodlums or being walking around the streets without making any impact. So the two places I will emphasize on is our natural resources, the crude oils, and the human resources, being talented humans. I will emphasize on them mostly. And I believe it will help in eradicating poverty, because in a situation whereby many youths are engaged in different sport activities and different talent activities, it will reduce the rate of poverty in Nigeria. And if the refineries are all functioning.
Good evening, Africans in the diaspora. My name is Chaos Favor Umaru Kiakfo. I am a potential president of Nigeria. First of all, if I become the president, what will I change? I will change the system. I'll get it working back, and I'll get it to be functional, so that I can eradicate what the problem of Nigeria is. What is the problem of Nigeria? The problem of Nigeria is what has got the system to fail. How do I get to find out what the problem is? I'll trace the roots. What are the roots, and how do I find the roots? I find the roots by tracing when the problem started, how it started, and where it started. Then after doing that, I form a functional body, a functional and effective body of experts that will find out a way to solve, to get this system working back, so just as every other average Nigerians will get a better Nigeria. Thank you.
Fellow Nigerians and Nigerians in diaspora, my name is Olamilekan Ojo, or they call me Plus One. So pathetic. Our noble Nigerian with over 180 million as its populations, with so many resources, still wallowing in the position of underdeveloping country. However, so much can be done even at a little time. If I am the president of this great nation, in 3 minutes, I will have two things change. One, cutting down the salary of all government officials to cut and boycott excessive spending of our fundings. Two, Nigeria has great resources, so much and many mineral resources, which we trade with foreign counterparts. But however, as we trade, we hardly accounted for the funds received from those trade. I will introduce a restructuring to our MOU with the foreign investors. How do I mean? Instead of selling our resources to them in exchange for money, we can as well have agreement with them that have great companies like construction companies and the like, exchanging our product, our mineral resources with them to render us service. And also we made it a mandatory for them to give 60% of the workforce of the company to
First of all, before you solve a problem, you need to identify the problem. And one of the problems of Nigeria is the national debt. For every government that comes in, he or she always has national debt in his mind. Nigeria is a country that has a lot of geopolitical zones, and one of our major problems is we import more than what we export. And to generate funds, we need to invest more in agro-allied products, and we need to solve the issue of transportation. When we're talking about change, I'm talking about bringing in a government that is all about tackling the tax agencies. A lot of the Nigeria tax force has been able to extort money from entrepreneurs, making them invulnerable to invest more in agricultural products. Now, for the transportation system, we need to improve the roads, create more avenue for transportation of goods and services, including the train sector, the water sector, which is the ships, and the road transportation. Looking at Lagos, using it as a case study, Lagos is overpopulated. We need more of good transport system and good roads to transport more of our agro-allied products. I'm emphasizing on agro-allied products because I see that majority of the Nigerian government are basically emphasizing on petroleum. And looking at the petroleum sector, a lot of countries have been able to compete with Nigeria in the international field. So we need to generate funds to reduce our national debt so that the government can be rest assured and can be in good shape to invest more in the youth with entrepreneurship.
Youth development will be my main priority. As we all know, 85% of Nigerians are youth, and as they say, youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Also, talent appreciation and basic education is one thing my government will look into by increasing the budget of education. Also, my government will drastically reduce government officials such as the senators, which are the top government official salary, and also increase lecturer salary in order for the proper upbringing of our children. Also, my government will increase defense salary and total reformation of the police system in order to ease fundamental human rights. Also, we are going to improve our health system and our roads, which will make big companies throughout the world to come invest big in our nation and lead into the creation of more jobs. Also, since we focus more on oil, since the current government and the previous government, the past government focused more on oil, my government will build more refineries in some states, such as Oyo State, Ibadan to be precise, and one refinery in the north, in order to reduce making other countries get richer from our own personal oil. In conclusion, my government will properly introduce cryptocurrency in order to improve our currency.
Because if I'm being made the president of Nigeria, I'll dive more into agriculture and youth empowerment. I'll make sure that the youth also take part in the leadership of the country, and also good roads and steady power supply.
Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, Africa. First of all, being the president of the country comes with a lot of responsibilities. But there are many more important things to do to make the country better. My name is Ozzy, and I'm here to tell you the things I will change if I'm made the president of Nigeria. first, if I become the president of Nigeria, I will make sure that all the rulers must be from from the age of 45 years and above. And if I make the president of Nigeria, I will change the fact that youth doesn't have the rights. I will change the fact that youth doesn't have the rights to the affairs of the country. And I will also make sure that school is what's going by making all the graduates, by making every graduate employed immediately after serving the country. I will change the cost of living to enable the poor masses gain access to a good living. And I will also set up a standard structure for a foreign company here in Nigeria to help reduce the scarcity of job opportunity, and make sure that all jobs are gotten by merit and not by connection. Thank you.
If I'm opportune to be the president of Nigeria, what will you change? If I'm opportune to be the president of Nigeria, I will make sure every Nigerian is entitled to allowance every month. Take a look at the youth who are the future of tomorrow. They are idle and jobless. I will make sure there's job opportunity for every graduate. In that way, he or she can be able to stand his ground and be able to feed families. I will make sure they are self-employed with the help of skills acquisition. They will be self-independent. I will make sure corruption is eradicated in Nigeria, because with corruption, Nigeria cannot progress and move forward. I will make sure bad political leaders are uprooted from the sector, because a bad politician will destabilize the nation. I will make sure entrepreneurial segments are being introduced to the youth so that they can acquire skills, whether graduate or non-graduate, because it will help the youth go far and better in life. For example, you have the tailoring, hairdressing, art craft, shoemaking, bag making, and the likes. I will appoint trustworthy subordinates that are God-fearing and loyal to the political seats available. I will make sure Nigerians are free to express their feelings and to get directly to the president. I will make sure bad roads are repaired, and I will make sure there are infrastructures and basic amenities in each country. I will make sure every Nigerian is comfortable. Security of life and properties of Nigeria is also important. Government workers will be paid steadily. In that way, they will be eager to work without restrictions. The health sector is also important. Nigeria, I will make sure health centers are built all over Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Tikaru.
If I'm given the opportunity to be the first female president, the first thing I'm going to be dealing on is job opportunity. Reason being that 80% of Nigerian youths are jobless and they need something to do. Either you are a graduate or not. If you are a graduate, I won't give it when you go for a job interview, you won't be asked a question like, who do you know? Who are you? The first question that will be asked is, what do you have to offer? That is the opportunity I'm going to create. And why the ones that are skilled, like the tailoring, the hairdressing and the rest, I'll create that job opportunity for them to be able to showcase their talents. Either ways, by making them understand that doing something is more important, and earning for yourself is still important in the country.
And if I'm being elected as the first female president of Nigeria, I'll use my power in putting in younger people in the higher position in politics in Nigeria. I will make sure to stabilize the cost of fuel in Nigeria, because we all know transportation is one of the major things in our country. I will make sure to pay the lecturers in the Federal University in order to avoid ASU strike, so our youth can be able to learn, and we all know that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. I will also maintain entertainment in Nigeria and make sure it goes global. I'll also make sure to set up a skill acquisition center.
Thank you very much.
Africa, Nigeria, I greet you. And your boy, Jessman. If my our dreams of becoming the president of this great country for a moment, talk more of a tenure. I'll immediately splash down the allowances of politicians and the salaries. This will help reduce the interest of most Nigerians that doesn't have any political ambition other than the money involved in those offices, beginning from the presidency to the office of the local government chairman. Then I will look into, it hurts me a lot, wise one, when I see millions of Nigerians in the street with application letters, then go home for their heads, waiting for this almighty white collar job. Where is the agricultural sector? Where many Nigerians miss out. I will inaugurate a committee that will give out funds to many Nigerians, as many Nigerians that are involved in agricultural practice, and as many Nigerians that are ready to and willing to abide into the agricultural practice. With this, the rate of unemployment will reduce. Thank you.
If I'm being given the opportunity to become the president of this country, the first thing I'll be doing is making sure the fundamental human right of the citizen is strongly protected. And secondly, the defense organizations such as the police and the soldiers that protect the internal and external affairs of the country is being respected and paid. I will make sure the teachers and the doctors of the country become the number one priority of the government because they build and protect the country. I will be doing a constitutional reform, changing the political system to a two-party system, which gives the citizen choice to pick leaders. And I'll be changing the state, I'll be changing the country to a socialist state from a capitalist or mixed economy. And I believe this is going to bring high job opportunity for the citizen, because being a socialist state, the government is going to be in charge of the economy of the country. I will make sure the supremacy of constitution, which brings everybody equal under the law, and provision of infrastructure facilities for the citizens. And I will make sure to attain any governmental position, you have to be a university graduate. And I will be making the Bank of Nigeria. Making the Bank of Nigeria, all the citizens of the country details will be in the Bank of Nigeria for protection reasons, just in case of kidnap.
And as an aspirant to be a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my three agendas are removal of ODs from the federal system, because this is a democratic system of government, whereby for the past 60 years, it has not been practiced. This is obviously military government masquerading itself as democracy. All leaders, all governors, senators should be less than 60 years of age, because in an advanced country where we have the rules and regulations being applied, we retire presidents, governors, senators, and ministers who are so old to rule, those grandpas. Then my second point.
face of Image's housemate. What an excitement.